Moving to Ohio? I'm so sorry. I'm kidding. It's actually really great. If you're thinking about relocating to the Dayton, Ohio area, you probably have all sorts of questions. What's the cost of living? Should I rent first? What are the best areas? Is it only cornfields? Is there anything to do? Whether you're moving for a job or military at Wright Patterson Airforce Base, it can be tough finding that combination of town, neighborhood, and house whenever you move. And it can be even tougher when you aren't familiar with the area. Hi, I'm Lydia Rowe, a realtor here in Tipp City, Ohio, a Dayton, Ohio suburb, and I just love helping people like you make the best decision possible in a short time that you have to get the lay of the land as you relocate here. Now, this particular video isn't going to be a welcome to the area type video, like what's the best ice cream, restaurants, things to do, although I do love that stuff, and if you're looking for more of that, check out my other videos. I talk about all things living in the Miami Valley of Ohio on this channel, which includes neighborhood and home tours, market trends, real estate advice. Now, I'm not gonna jump right into focusing on how to find and get the best home at the best price either. I'm gonna address that towards the end, and if that's what you're after, I'll post a few other videos that you might want to check out in the description. This video is a deeper, in between the lines look at some aspects of relocation that most buyers don't expect and many agents just don't think about. I'm gonna break this down into 3 sections, okay? First, I'm gonna share 6 important things to keep in mind when relocating. Next, I'm gonna reveal 2 things that you need to know if your company offers you an official relocation package. And last, I'll answer my top 3 questions that I get asked most about moving to Ohio. My hope is that this video will help you make as smooth of a transition as possible. It's a lot of information, but it's important, so let's get to it. First of the 6 important things to keep in mind is that real estate prices, you need to expect some surprises. So you're packing up and moving to a new spot, which sometimes means that the price tags on homes will make you do a double take. Sometimes it's a happy surprise, sometimes not so much. If you're stepping up into an area with steeper prices, don't sweat it. Here's what you can do. You can start checking out what kind of homes that you can get within your budget. It's all about getting the hang of what's what in your new neck of the woods. Trust me, with a little time and digging, you're gonna find that sweet spot, a place that feels just right. Around the Dayton, Ohio area, there are a few counties that have very different property taxes as well, and different ways of prorating taxes, and that can all make a big difference in your monthly payments. So do your research, talk to someone who knows the area, or if you want a shortcut, just reach out to me and you can get a great fit. Number 2 thing to consider, new place, new vibes. So you're landing here in Miami Valley, and trust me, it's not going to be like where you're coming from. You're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. Well, actually, Kansas isn't that much different than Ohio, but let's zero in on what can be different by region, especially in terms of homes, okay? Home styles, what they look like and how they're built. Midwest is very different from the West Coast, and all regions have at least some subtle differences. You won't find as many modern looking homes here, but more traditional. There's brick ranch, 2-story vinyl, bi-level, tri-level, new builds, or old Victorians. There's a huge range of possibilities here. House sizes, big, cozy, you'll find all sorts from 600 square feet, 1 bedrooms to sprawling mansions over 10,000 square feet, and everything in between. Yard sizes, in Ohio, you can go with 0 lot line all the way up to a vast acreage. Most single family homes are around 0.2 to 0.4 acres, but finding something with a ½ acre or more isn't usually too difficult depending on your price range. Landscaping. The greenery can be a whole new scene from what you're used to. Ohio has lots of green during the spring and summer and even into the fall, but the winter's pretty brown and gray. You have to bring outdoor plants in during the winter season. If you're used to the dry landscape of Arizona or flowers year-round like Florida, it's just not happening here. Next thing that's different from region to region is interior decor. The local flavor might just grow on you, but every region is different. Midwest does seem to be a little late in the game on newer trends, so you're still a big mix of interior decor, and much depends on the age of the house. You can find a 70s or 80s retro house that hasn't been updated, or a pristinely preserved 100-year-old home in some of those cute downtown areas in the suburbs like Tipp City and Troy. Some ceilings are gonna just be 7 feet tall. That's gonna feel maybe more enclosed, like from the 50s to 70s. Most are 8 foot, and some of the newer or really older homes are more like 9 or 10 foot ceilings. The next thing that's different is home amenities. What's considered standard around here? Lots of areas in Ohio have basements. Maybe you'll find patios or decks in most backyards. A 2-car garage is not too hard to find, depending on your price range. Primary suite on the main floor, eat-in kitchens. Sometimes just browsing the internet on available houses can give you a good idea of what's standard, but once you find someone local to help you, they're gonna be your ultimate resource. They can point out things to look for in the area when you're going through and inspecting and looking at houses that might not even be a thing in the area you're moving from. In Ohio, it's a good idea to test for radon gas, for example. Also, depending on where you're looking, you might find yourself with a septic system and well water, and there's often natural gas available. But some houses are all electric or use propane. None of these things are to be scared of, but they might not be things that you've considered before depending on where you're coming from. Trying to find a carbon copy of your old place can be a wild goose chase. It's easy to miss out on some gems if you're stuck on the familiar. My 2 cents, embrace what's different about your new stomping ground. Give it a chance, and before you know it, you might be finding excuses to stick around longer than you thought. The third thing that you want to think about is to zone in on your search. Let's face it, house hunting in a brand new city can be as overwhelming as a menu with too many good choices, like Cheesecake Factory. Just like, that menu is ridiculous and it's all good. So sure, it's cool to have options, but too many can make your head spin and eat up your time. And when you're moving, time is pretty much gold. You won't have endless weekends to jet over and scout locations. Plus, you've probably got a deadline to find your new place. Here's a pro move. Start narrowing down your neighborhoods online before you make the trip. It's like window shopping from your couch. Of course, the web can't beat the vibes that you get from actually walking the streets, but it sure helps to scratch off those no-goes and zone in on a few hot spots that might be just right for you. Remember, it's all about ruling out the meh to make way for the yay. Number 4. You want to think about this, take advice with a grain of salt. If you're headed to a new place, you want to brace yourself for the avalanche of free advice on where to live. You'll get tips from future coworkers to the guy making your coffee. And while it's great to gather intel, everyone's coming at you from their own angle. Their perfect neighborhood might have everything they want, but it doesn't mean that it's going to fit your wish list or wallet. It's easy to get swayed by well-meaning advice and think that you're missing out if you don't follow it. Here's the thing, everybody's best is subjective. That killer deal or dream community to one person might be a no-go for you, and that's totally fine. So yeah, listen to what the locals say. After all, insider info is gold, but trust your gut too. Make your list of must-haves and nice-to-haves and stick to finding a place that ticks your boxes. I'm convinced that your perfect spot is out there and it's waiting for you to call it home. Number 5, look to the future. When you're picking out your new place, you're not just choosing a house, you're choosing a potential investment. Most folks who move for work find themselves packing up again down the road. It's like a carousel. Around and around we go, right? So picking a place with solid resale value, that's key. You're not looking to flip a house like you're on TV show, but you do want to be able to sell it without taking a hit. What makes a house a hot ticket item on the resale market? Generally, people are hunting for a spot with good schools, safe streets, and the essentials nearby like groceries and highways. Not everyone's after the same dream, but these are your safe bets for when it's time to put up that for sale sign. Steer clear of the quirky stuff or anything with a big downside like having a freeway for a backyard. Data's your friend here. It won't predict the future, but it'll give you a snapshot of the market. Look at what's selling, how fast, and for how much. Places like Oakwood, Beaver Creek, Kettering, Troy, and Tipp City, where I'm from, they're known for their steady resale value. Some areas in Dayton, though, it's more of a mixed bag. Remember to take a good look at the trends and trust the numbers. They're your crystal ball in the real estate game. And speaking of that, if you'd like a free buyer's guide, just comment free buyer's guide and I'll get one to you. No strings attached. And stay tuned to the end. I'll link my buyers playlist that has a ton of great content like how to make the best offer, how much the sellers usually come down, steps to buying, and more. Number 6 on my list of things to keep in mind is the good area question. Good areas. Everyone's got a different picture of what that looks like, right? You might hear good and think tree-lined streets and top-notch schools. Someone else, they might be all about the vibrant nightlife and the quirky cafes. But if we're talking house hunting, you're probably after the safe, sound, and sellable trifecta. Here's the deal with real estate agents and the whole good area biz. They might seem a bit dodgy when you pop the question. It's not them being flaky, it's the rules. We can't label neighborhoods as good or bad without risking a slap on the wrist or worse, losing our license. If an agent does start rating the neighborhoods like they're a Yelp reviewer, that's a red flag. They're stepping over the line, and it makes you wonder what else they might be casual about. So what's a home searcher to do? Play detective. Hit the pavement in areas you like at different times. Got that safe vibe? Awesome. Do some internet sleuthing for crime stats or school ratings. Some of my favorite sites are niche.com and crimegrades.org. And hey, a chat with the local police or a school's office can dish a lot of dirt too. They don't have the same restrictions as realtors do. And just a heads up, don't ever even bother asking an agent about demographics or religion. That is a big no-no. For those details, you're going to have to do some good old research on your own. Also, just a little tidbit, here in the Dayton area of Ohio, the due diligence of researching a neighborhood, sex offender list, school ratings, safety, even area factors like zoning and use is all up to you to do as a buyer before you even make an offer. There is no contingency giving you a certain amount of time to do this, so you need to make sure that you check all of that before even making an offer. There are contingencies for doing a home inspection, appraisal, and making sure the home is insurable. So those are built into the contract, but there is not one for like the location in the area. So those are the 6 things that I want to make sure that you think about. And in a minute, I'm going to answer the top 3 questions that I get when it comes to moving to Ohio. But first, I want to talk to you about relo packages, and in particular, 2 things you may not know, but you should know. Number 1, you don't have to use their agent. If you've got a relo package waving in front of you, you might think that you're locked into using one of their approved agents. They'll hand you a choice of 3 usually, each from different companies, and say these agents have special training in relocation. Well, that's not a bad thing. It's worth noting though that approved doesn't always mean best for you. The truth is, a great agent does more than just show you houses. They understand the ins and the outs of relocation and advocate for your interests. So take charge, do your homework, and pick an agent who resonates with you. If they're not on that approved list, they can usually join the party with just a quick call and some paperwork. After all, it's your move and you deserve the best guidance. Number 2, hidden cost. Getting a relocation package might seem like hitting the jackpot, but let's dive into what it really involves. It's not just about the money it might save you. The actual value of these packages can vary significantly, and sometimes the real costs are in the details you might miss at first glance. There's a lot more than monetary expense here. The real costs might include limited choices and tight deadlines, which could pressure you into decisions. Interestingly, many relocation packages come with a confidentiality clause. Don't discuss the package details, not even with your real estate agent, and they're bound by the same rule. It's important to scrutinize the offer and to understand all the implications before you commit. Ensure the benefits outweigh the cost, and remember, it's better to sort all of this out before signing anything, because once you do, you're playing by their rules, and sometimes it's just not worth it. Now, not everyone moves here for a career change, but it's pretty common reason. A relocation package isn't always offered to everyone who's being asked to relocate for a job, so this might not even apply to you at all. But something I've seen is that in the excitement of the offer, some people rush right into starting their home search before even knowing whether or not they do have a relocation package. This can lead to unexpected issues and maybe even a loss of benefits. So if you're moving to this area for a particular company and you don't know whether or not you're entitled to a relo package, make sure to ask the company and find out before moving forward any further. Now, we have covered a lot, but I still have to answer the top 3 questions that I get when it comes to moving to Ohio. So without further ado, here they are. Number 1, should I rent first? If you're pondering whether to rent in the new area before buying, it's a reasonable option. Renting can give you a first-hand feel of the community and reduce the pressure to make a quick purchase decision. However, signing a lease might limit your flexibility. What happens if you stumble upon your dream home, but you're locked into a rental agreement? Breaking a lease can be costly, and it might mean missing out on the great buying opportunities. So if you're leaning toward renting first, think about short-term lease options, or even a long-term hotel stay. This way, you can keep your choices open and jump on buying opportunity if it comes along. Remember to consider the cost of moving twice too. Once into the rental and then into your purchased home. It's not just the physical move, it's also the extra time, the extra effort, and expenses involved. If renting first is on your mind, reach out. I can provide some local suggestions that might suit your situation. The second question I get asked all the time is this: how long does it take? It's hard to say exactly how long it will take for you to look for and to find the right home. Typically, people relocating tend to be more efficient efficient in their home search because their time is limited. Unlike local home buyers who might take their sweet time, since they're already in the area, relocators tend to hit the ground running because they have fewer trips to find the right place. The real question might be less about how long it takes to find a house and more about how long it takes to close once you've made an offer. This timeline can change based on your location and your financials, but around Dayton, Ohio, for instance, it's usually about a 30-day ride from contract to closing. When planning your move, think backwards from when you want to settle into your new home. Factor in about a month for closing, then give yourself an extra month or two to search. Unless you're ready to make quick decisions, in which case you might wrap up your search even faster. And the third question, how do I get the best deal on the best house? Now, we all aim for the ideal home, and we can snag it at a bargain, that's even better. But truth be told, many miss out on both. And that's a common scenario, not just for relocators. Juggling the pressures of relocation with the complexities of home buying ups the challenge. This video has shed light on issues specific to relocating and house hunting. However, there's more to the story if you want to nail down the process of buying a home. From getting pre-approved and choosing the right agent to the nitty-gritty of negotiations and closing the deal. Each step is critical. I've got my buyer video playlist you can click on that goes deeper into a lot of these questions. Even things like earnest money is different here in Ohio than other places. So just do yourself a favor and watch through that playlist so you have the best information about our area and how to make offers and what to look for in a house and all that. I also have several buyer's guides, one that gives 15 steps to buying and one that I update quarterly with current market insights. These are free, so again, just comment that you want them and I'll get them to you. Also, you can create searches directly on my website at www.listwithlydia.com. You can search without giving me any of your information, but if you do want to work with me, you can sign up on there and we can start looking together. Even if you're a few months or a year out, it's nice to keep your eye on the market in a new location so that when you are ready to buy, you know what to expect and what has been available and how quickly it sells and all that. Hope this video helps you in your move, and if it did, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe so that you don't miss anything. I keep them coming every month. Moving to Ohio? I'm so sorry. I'm kidding. Hi, I'm Lydia Rowe, a realtor here in Tipp City, Ohio, a Dayton, Ohio suburb. It's all about getting the hang of what's, oh man, I can't talk. Getting the hang of what's what. It's all about getting the hang of, also depending on where you are, depending on where you're looking, you might find yourself with a septic system. You might find yourself with a septic system. Trying to find a carbon copy of your old place can be a wild goose chase. Trying to find a carbon copy of your old place can be a wild goose chase. Places like Oakwood, Beaver Creek, Kettering, Tipp City, Troy. Can't tell. We all aim for the ideal home and snagging it at a bargain. We all aim for the ideal home and snagging it at a bargain, even better. But okay, I don't know why. Okay.